Welcome back, guys, to a brand new live stream on the channel. Hope all of you guys are having a very good Friday. And yeah, Bitcoin is currently sitting at around 109k today. We had a new all-time high for approximately a few days, and then today Trump came out and announced more tariffs on where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so he came out and announced 50%, or he recommends 50% tariffs on Europe, and then the market kind of slumped on that news. This is something that Trump likes to do quite often, and I think it's more of a negotiation tactic than anything else. I think we already know the playbook now. He recommends some high tariff, 100%, 60%, 70%, and then this is just a good way to actually get them on the table. So what he will do now is, in a few days, he will say, I'm going to speak to the European people, the government there, and then he's going to sort out some deal, and then apparently he's going to go really well, and the market's going to pump again. So don't get caught out on these little dips. I do think we do most likely will go higher, and the reason we're going to go higher is very simple, right? Up until about 93 to 94k down here. I mean, the last time I live streamed, I think Bitcoin was around 90 something K, or probably just on probably 100K. I said that we're going to most likely hit a new all-time high, have a correction, and then continue higher. And that's exactly what's kind of playing out right now. We're having, we had this upside potential, and it's not because the market's bullish or because some crazy news come out. It's just all the liquidations, the short investors, the people that's going short, they keep getting squeezed and they keep getting liquidated, and therefore they have to buy back in their positions. And then for that reason, we keep going higher. So it's just been 2 to 3 short squeezes back to back, and that's what's fueling this rally to the upside. It's not because the market's bullish or some crazy news came out. I don't think it's because of that. It's simply because of the short squeezes. So we'll most likely, I think we'll probably reach around between 115 to 118, and then we'll either chop there or have a little correction and then chop. And then at some point in June, July times, I think we're going to go into that crazy blow off top moment where, we have to see which way the market goes from there, from after the correction. And it depends on what's causing the correction as well. People have to realize this. If it's another tariff news, or China and fingers going back at it, then obviously that's gonna scare the market a lot more, in my opinion. On top of that, we've had where is it? We've had apparently US and India are going to announce a trade deal within 7 to 10 days. So I think that will fuel the market slightly, which is quite bullish. We've also had Trump announce all iPhones not made in the US hit with a 25% tariff. And on back of this, Apple actually dropped like 4%. So he is causing some uncertainty in the market. But we have had some very good developments from our project. So if you see, this is the CEO of Nuclei, and I think this is the Nexus. So this is the testnet for the actual product, and this is actually going to go live very soon. So I'm assuming that the testnet will be out within the next week or two, and their product is really good. They solve a real problem, which is one of the reasons I actually got into this project. Octo Gaming is more or less confirmed. The what's it called? The Mexi listing. So these guys are going to be listed on Mexi. I don't know the exact date, but they've more or less confirmed and hit little signs of a Mexi listing. So I mean, look, when you're on one exchange, one centralized exchange, and that exchange threatens to delist you, it's a wake-up call for a project to actually get on a second exchange. Because 9 times out of 10, if Octo Gaming actually got delisted from KuCoin, I think that would have destroyed the price action, in my opinion. That would have actually violated the price action, because there would have been a bunch of other groups as well that probably would have sold their position, and the price would have went, it probably would have lost another zero. I believe New Like is very strong and will surpass all-time highs. What do I think? All-time highs is, I don't know about all-time highs. It's definitely possible. It depends what kind of alt season you get, obviously, but you have to be a little bit more conservative. Delario, it's good to see you as well, my friend. But you have to be a little bit more conservative, and the reason is because when you're in a business cycle, you're going to go through, phases of expansion, and you're going to go phases through contraction. So you're going to get periods of time where the market's bearish, and you're going to get periods of time where the market's bullish. And at the moment, that's exactly what's been happening for, let's say, the last year and a half now. Ever since 2024, that's basically what's been happening. We're going through phases of expansion, and then we go through phases of contraction. So right now we're in the construction phase, going into a mini expansion, where inflation's coming down. Even though GDP is low, but there's other factors that's fueling the pump. So I do agree with you. All-time high is going to be a bit. The all-time high is, let me see, like 6-7 cents, 7 cents. Yeah, 6 cents. It's definitely possible. It's possible. I think it's possible. But if you got in down here, if you get in down here, the reality is you're not gonna hold all the way up here. That's the reality, bro. Like, even if it goes to 10 cents, 2 cents here, it's a nice 10x. Most people are not gonna hold to the 6 cents. It could do it, but it's not smart to hold for that long, in my opinion. Steve, good to see you, my friend. How long before countries like US end up in the same place as Japan within the global debt loop? Yeah, this is a very interesting topic, and I was going to actually speak about this, so I might as well speak about it now. I mean, this is the Treasury Secretary Besant saying we're going to grow GDP faster than the debt, and that will stabilize the debt to GDP ratio. And what he means by this is, he means that, for every dollar that gets printed, they're going to create GDP, even if it's 1.1, that is more debt to GDP. And they can only do this by 3 different ways, right? One of the ways is to increase the population. So, more people, more GDP. But I don't think they're going to do that. Number 2 is immigration. They bring immigrants over, they start working, and therefore GDP increases. And number 3 is to start printing. These guys will create GDP. This is what people don't realize. And this is why I would say we'll always have an alt season, because this is how the fiat system works. We will always have an alt season for that one basis point, is because these guys will always start printing, because there's no other option now. This Ponzi runs on printing, nothing else. If they don't print everything, the whole system collapses. And it's not just going to be the US, it's going to be the entire world that collapses along with the US. And the reason is because every single country in the world holds some sort of bond or treasury or something from the US. So when they all go down, they all go down together. That's why the only option is printing. And this is why patience plays off in the long run. Most people start their crypto journey, don't make it to the end because they get impatient. And this cycle has been difficult. This is by far the hardest cycle anyone has. I personally been in, at least. And it'll probably get a little bit worse before it gets good. But like I said, the only option for these guys is to create GDP, and that is through printing. In COVID, when you guys were all locked up inside your house, why was GDP so high? No one was working. Most people was not working. Most people were at home. They were creating GDP by printing. That's what they do. They print GDP. And that's what they're going to continue to do. So, and that's why we'll always have an alt season. When he says he's going to grow GDP, they're going to start printing at some point. It's very simple. This is why he wants Powell out, because he wants to bring interest rates lower so people start getting interested back in the bonds. Anyone that's holding bonds right now is losing. And the reason is very simple. Inflation is higher than the interest rates. So the amount of rates you're getting on these bonds, inflation's higher. So you're not getting no returns. So all these banks, all these countries that's holding these US bonds, they're all losing. That's why stuff like BTC, assets, hard assets, gold, the housing market, they always win in the long term because they're hard assets and they increase in value, whereas fiat only decreases in value. Next week, AMA, yes, guys. This is it took me a while to get this, but on Tuesday next week, I do have an AMA with alt. So that is something for you guys to definitely keep an eye out. AMA with alt is going to be very interesting. I think this is actually the first AMA I've seen alt do with like a normal YouTube channel, like a normal low cap, whatever YouTube channel you could say. I've seen him do interviews with like, article, like these little mini companies, whatever, like these media stuff, but I've never seen them ever do one on YouTube. So I do have the all AMA sorted on Tuesday next week, so I'm definitely going to be looking forward to that. If you guys have any questions for Alt, slap it in the comment section after this live stream, and I will ask them, because I need to. I'm going to send them a list of questions that I want answers for. But it is going to be live as well, so you guys can tune in definitely. What do I think about Aero and Ionet? I like both of them. Aero is a very good project in the sense where, if you look at Dexes and you look at Base don't have a token, but they have Aerodome. Everyone looks at Aerodome as like the main token for Base, and I think Base will do well, and therefore Aero will also do well, and Ionet will always do well because it's a sustainable project. They earn real revenue. I think up to now they've earned between, and this is revenue, we don't know how much of it is profits, but about 15 million ever since they launched. So it's definitely a profitable business. They will generate revenue, and therefore it will survive and it will continue to do well. The only thing is Deepin has been quite dead, but I think Deepin will wake up this year. And I think, projects like Ionet, anything related to Deepin, Aut, Afair, all of these projects will do very well. It's good to see everyone in the chat though. Beam, Izzy, Game, Martin's good to see you. Walaikum salam, Omar. Riser, my friend, very good to see you. Mizer, I need to give you the scringe. Tumib, good to see you, my friend. Delario, very good to see you, buddy. Beam, good to see you as well. D-Clan, Crypto, good to see you as well, buddy. Johnny, good to see you, my friend. Victor, good to see you. You think low cap layer ones will pump soon? I don't know about soon, but they will pump at some point, yes. The reason is because if you see Su do well and you see C and all these other ones do well, the high caps, then people will, they will always rotate money to the low caps as well. And that's when they will have their pump. Pay AI. I'll do the coin reviews in like about 20 minutes. So just hit them in 20 minutes time. Orange Vibes, possible a little correction next week. I think we'll probably get a correction. I think we'll go a little bit higher before we get a correction. So, my base case has always been new all-time high. Trap all the bears that was calling for a bear market here. I don't think it's kind of hit them hard enough yet. Where Bitcoin to the point where they're FOMOing it. So I think what will happen is we'll break past, way higher than the all-time high, and then all those people that were bearish down here, I think they will come into the markets, and then the whales will use them as exit liquidity, and then we'll come down again, and then we'll have a reaccumulation zone over here, somewhere around these regions. I can't really tell you exactly where, but somewhere down here, consolidation, and then we're most likely just going to go higher. So new all-time high between 115 to 118, is my guess, and then from there we'll have some sort of correction, consolidation phase, and then something's going to come out, some crazy news, and then we're just going to go flying up. So that's what my base case is at the moment. But I think we got a little bit higher to go before we have a correction. King Casper, good to see you. Overkill, good to see you. Which low cap altcoins would you buy right now on the Solana chain? Okay, so let me think on the Solana chain. The one that I would buy right now is OTK on the gaming side. And the reason is, look, gaming has been dead. Very, very clear. So what you guys should do is look for sub-narratives, or look for hybrid narratives. Look for AI gaming. Look for, RWA AI, something like a cola. If you guys listen to me, I did a stream, I don't know how long ago it was, but it was during that, when we were down at like the 70K regions. I told people to buy Grift, buy Sui, buy Ondo, buy Cola as short-term trades. Cola, from when I was telling you guys to buy this shit, done like a 9x. This shit went to almost 10 cents and it was down here for a very long time. If you guys accumulated this, you would have had the easiest trade, 9x, in the space of a week. So, the people that listen to me in the private and on YouTube would have made an easy 9x. But this was a good project, but at 62 million, there's just way better RWA coins than this. So I'd rather get into ATR now. ATR, if you miss Cola, get into ATR. I took quite a lot of profits on Cola. I did not keep the bag. But get into ATR. ATR is not a bad accumulation zone. just for like a first DCA. It could always come down slightly lower, maybe down to these regions, because it consolidated here before it moved up. But down here is not a bad place to accumulate. So on the Solana chain, get ATR. This is a solid Solana RWA coin. We don't really have a lot of RWA and Solana. We have Parcel, we have Colart, and we have ATR. Those are the main ones. And everyone knows RWA is going to be one of the biggest narratives this cycle. And that is where I'm stacking up mostly. RWA and AI. Those are going to be the two of the biggest narratives. So stack up into that area. It doesn't have to be on the Solana chain. You can always, the thing with low cap Solana coins, they come and they go. They come, they pump 10x, 5x, and then they rug in a week's time, because most of them is the initial, they have some crazy product, and then because its own concept and its own hype, it pumps a lot, and then after a week or two, the people that's pumping up, they want the product, they want to try the product, and if the product's shit or average, they just sell it off and it just goes back down. So Solana chain's a tricky one. You're gonna get quite a lot of them pump and dumping, but only a few of them will stick and continue pumping throughout the cycle. Something like a Griffin, something like a probably like a Griffin actually. That's probably the best one in my opinion. In terms of utility, Griffin's probably the best one. My thoughts on Super. I think Super is fundamentally very strong, but just like any new project that caters to early investors and that caters to VCs, you're going to see very harsh price action initially. And I always told people, even, I was tempted to buy this shit, but I didn't because of the unlocks. When this came out, it pumped like 7x. And when something pumps 7x in a very short period of time, people get really excited, right? And I don't blame them. This done very well when it first came out, done like a 7x from the lows, and everyone thought it's the best project in the world. But that is when you don't touch a project. You just let it bleed to the point where it bottoms out, and then you buy a bag. So I am a fan of Super, and I think as a low cap, layer one Oracle, I think it will do very well. But you just have to wait for it to bottom out. This is never bottomed out because the unlocks keep coming. And you have to look at the basic fundamentals when you invest into a project. Look into where the early investors got their allocations, because that is where is most likely going to head. You look at the ICO, you look at the private people, these guys got it at 0.018. So they're still up 2.5x. That means if the market's not going to go anywhere in the short term, it can always continuously go lower. The only time you buy it is when either the narrative comes or it gets close to those prices. So clearly it's nowhere near those prices, and I think it might have better data on here. I'll just double check. You come down here, it gives you a clear answer of what these guys actually got into. Yeah, so you look at the pre-seed, they got it at 0.05. These guys got it at 0.075. So, if you look at the price action now, it can still go slightly lower. The strategic round got it at 0.018. Is this even right? Hold on. Am I tripping? So you can always go slightly lower based on just this private alone, 0.018. So you can always go lower, my friend. Just wait for it to bottom out and then start DCAing it. Trump will not leave. Yeah, Trump is always he quieted down for a while and then just randomly started blabbing again. He probably just wants to deal with the EU ASAP. Finally, Trump. Yeah, definitely, my friend. Definitely. I mean, it was quite hard to get an AMA with alt, just because like real businesses, they don't really operate on the Telegram and the Discords. They just have some retard in there, but this just you can answer your basic questions. Like if you ask it, oh, how do I access the data hub? It will send you a link. Or how do I buy alt? It will send you a link. That's all there is. Real businesses just pay some retard to run the Telegram and Discord, but they don't have time to actually, come in there and talk to the community because they're real business. It seems that Trump keeps suppressing crypto, but at the same time, last bull run had a lot of more bearish. Last bull run wasn't as bearish as this one, but we had this kind of similar in 2017. I would say we're more related to 2017 than 2020 cycle. That one wasn't as bearish as this. The only thing that was really bearish was the COVID crash, realistically. Obviously, we had interest rate hikes and we had a little mini business cycle. But even, 2017 and 2020, this is by far a lot harder cycle because we're in a real business cycle. We're not in some half-assed business cycle. This is a real one. And in business cycles, you're going to get, periods in the market where we're going to expansion, and then we're going to get periods where we're going to contraction. For the last 4 months, we've been in contraction, and we're slowly going towards a little bit of expansion where, the market pumps. So, but like I said, you have to play the traders game. So when you get a 5x, a 10x on your altcoin in like a space of a month, you have to take profits. You have to. Do I use the alt wallet? I do, yes. I hold a decent amount of my alt in the alt wallet. Lucas, good to see you, my friend. Airdrop farming is really good. If, I think now with AI agents, I think you can airdrop farm a lot better. If you can, I think people are actually building AI agents that's going to get you the most yield and that can potentially farm airdrop for you. And I think if those two come out, I think that could have very good price action on those agents. So that's the type of agents I'm looking for. Ones that make, because people are lazy and, people want everything done for them. That's the whole point of AI agents. That's why I like Sensei, because they're building stuff that makes people's life easier. And if people's life becomes easier because some AI agents does a lot of stuff for you, that product will get used by definition. So, that's the type of agents I like. I don't like these little fucking agents that, that post on Twitter for you. That's bullshit. No one cares. People will follow it on Twitter and listen to the data and stuff. But why do you need to invest into it? That's where the token utility also comes into it. But like agents that actually make your life easier. Good to see you, Benny. Very good to see you, my friend. Andreas, very good to see you. Guys, smash the like button. Last live, we've done really well. I think after the live, we got like over 200 likes, and that was, I appreciate that loads. Demo, good to see you, buddy. I'm doing very well. How are you doing, my friend? Did I hit the like? Good to see you, did. What's up, G? Chris, I appreciate the €2, my friend. Very good to see you. Yes, smash the like, guys. I would appreciate it. ATR and OTK Solana chain are perfect choices. I do agree with that. AI Tech is bridging to Solana as well. Even Alt is bridging to Solana. You're gonna get a lot of these projects that's gonna, cross-chain expansion, which I think is smart. Even if people don't use your chain, as long as it's there, it's a morale boost for the community, in my opinion. I mean, the reality is, a lot of these coins, when they do the cross-chain expansion, they don't even get used. No one uses it. Like, for example, when AI Tech launched on Base, there was like fucking 400-500 holders on Base. No one's really using it. Why? Because most of the liquidity is elsewhere. So people have no incentive to buy on that chain. It's just that when that chain does pump and that chain grabs the liquidity, your altcoin by design will go up because it's on that chain. That's why it's good. It's not good in the short term. It's good in the medium to long term. The short term, no one really uses. It's like, even if tomorrow AI Tech goes on Solana, I guarantee you there'll be less than fucking 500 holders on Solana. But when Solana is really booming and the chain's doing well, it will go up. How do I think gaming will do with GTA 6 being postponed to next year? Gaming's a sticky one, bro. Like, gaming will pump when liquidity comes because they all pump anyways. But in my opinion, if you want to, I would be focused more on RWA and AI and just have 5 to 10% of your portfolio in gaming. That's what I would do. Have it mostly AI and RWA because we know everyone's going towards the tokenization route. So therefore, it's only smart to actually get a decent amount of RWA. And we know AI is the future, and AI will always going to go bigger and bigger, and so will the projects. As long as they continue to develop, which every single one of our projects are doing, then they will grow. So I don't know about moving everything into AI, but hold some gaming, because when the liquidity returns, they do pump. For example, the people that held Munity, if you bought Munity at the lows, within a day, you would have got a 4x, because at the lows to the bottom, this pumped, from 0.01, it went to like 0.0, 3 or 4. I don't know why this always has less of a pump, but it went to like 0.03 to 4. So you would have got between a 3 to 4x in the space of, from here to there in less than a month. So that's pretty good, like less than 15 days. So, that's where gaming can pump based on, if they update, if they bring out something bullish, people will buy it, and then just, if they want to dump it. But if you held this down here and you bought it down here, you would have been up 3 to 4x in the space of 15 days, which is a decent amount these days. So you hold something. I would just hold the fast movers. Like OTK is a fast mover. Now that SD sign's gone on KuCoin, and Munity is another fast mover. Just get like 2 degen ones. At least, if for this to do 100x, all it needs is like 20, 15, 20 million market cap. It's not hard. All TK needs to do is, if it goes back to his all-time highs, like a 30 to 40x. That's pretty good. So just hold a small amount. Is it true that Mexi blocks accounts if they make... This is an interesting one. I've never personally witnessed them actually blocking accounts, but I have seen them freeze people's accounts. So, if you make too much money on a short, then yes, they won't freeze it, but they will actually take you out the trade personally. Like they'll just do it without you noticing, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the problem with decentralized exchanges. If you put 100K in a trade, and you go on like 30x leverage, and you make a decent amount of money, 3 million, whatever. Guess what happens? Then they're unlikely. They will just take you out of the trade before it hits there. They'll still give you some of the profits, obviously, but they do sneaky stuff like take you out of the trade. But they don't know, they're not allowed to block your account. But I've personally witnessed them actually freeze my account once. So I moved a decent amount of Mexi at one point to buy a few coins, and they when you withdraw that coin out, sometimes it takes days. And then obviously when you got 50, 100, 200K in a coin, and you want to take it out, move it to your cold wallet, and it's being frozen, of course you're going to be a little bit worried. That's what happened to me. So they do weird shit like that, yes. They don't do as much in the bull run because obviously they're making good money and they're getting good revenue. But when the market's a bit shit, they can be a bit fucking tricky, yes. So I don't really like to hold too much money on Mexi. Like the most I'll hold on Mexi is like 50K max, the most. And even then, I don't hold it for too long. It's like if I'm in an accumulation phase and I want to buy tokens, I'll keep it on there for like a week, 2 weeks, get my accumulation, and just move it out. Lucas, I appreciate the $5 Australian. I'm pretty sure. If you're looking for 3 to 5x, would your portfolio be high caps? Yeah, look, if you're looking for a 3 to 5x from the current point on, yes, just go high caps, bro. Just be safe. Like C is a phenomenal high cap. I hold a very big bag of C, and I do like the project. And I think with their recent update, getting over 250 TPS, I do think this will do phenomenal. So yes, C is a good one. Beam is a very good one because Beam is not only gaming. People get this misconception that Beam is strictly gaming. Beam is also AI, and they're also expanding to RWA. So it's not just AI and it's not just gaming. They expanded to other places because you got to realize, right? No one gives a shit anymore in crypto. It's all hype now. So at the end of the day, if you're not adapting as a high cap, other high caps will take the spot for you. Look, this is what I mean. They're not just doing one thing now; they're expanding to other places because you have to expand and adapt to actually make it into space. So they started off with gaming. Now they've expanded to finance and AI and RWAs because that's what they want to do. They want to do a bit of everything. Like look at Injective. Injective was a DeFi layer 1 done really well, but then it got stuck at a certain price because it was just there was nothing new. So what they done was they expanded to RWA, and that increased on-chain activity. So you have to adapt, and this is exactly what Beam is doing. And Beam is a phenomenal project in my opinion. And Sonic is good, yes. But with Sonic, are you talking about Phantom Sonic, or are you talking about the Sonic on Solana, the layer for gaming? Just get high. If you want a 3 to 5x, get like an Ondo, get like a fucking C Beam. Those are good options. Even Ondo will do a 3 to 5x from here. Immunity is going down again. Not really. Why would you be worried? It's a low cap, bro. Like I said, if something pumps 3 to 4x in a space of a month, of course it's always gonna come down, my friends. The people that aped in here, they're probably just booking profits. But I don't really give a shit about short-term price action. Immunity is like less than 1% of my portfolio right now. If you die, I don't think you'll die, but I'm not selling this unless I get a minimum 30x, a minimum. That's the only reason I buy this shit. So I'm not gonna buy this shit. I'm not gonna fucking sell this for 4x, 3x. Because this is minimal. It doesn't affect my portfolio at all. Do I think this is a good time to accumulate or not? For all is a phenomenal time to actually accumulate. It's in this this long consolidation phase. This is accumulation phase, and people will be like, oh, but why isn't this pumping? Well, number one, they do minimal marketing. That plays a role, obviously. Number two, there's a bunch of high caps that just don't pump as much. Not because they shit projects, it's because no one really knows about them. And it just takes about time for these projects to actually to actually pump. But let's be honest, every single time the market has pumped or has pumped with it. So when we pumped in February and when AI was pumping, it pumped. And then when AI agents were pumping here, it pumped like a 4x in like a space of a week. So it does pump with the markets. You just have to wait for liquidity to come back. But the best thing is, at least it's not dumping. People were like, this isn't pumping, but at least it's also not dumping at the same time. If this was, if this did not pump, but it also went down 30%, 40% randomly, then it would be a bit fucking annoying. But it doesn't do that. It holds up strong compared to the rest of the market. But its time will come. There's more and more big YouTubers slowly talking about this now. House of Crypto has spoke about Alt 2 times now, and supposedly he's going to be making a low cap video, a bunch of new low cap coins. He might mention this, and all it takes is one big YouTuber to talk about this, and then once the masses actually look into it and see how good this project actually is, it was just natural for it to just start going up. You don't want to be one of those guys that sell the lows of a project because it's not performing that well. You can't compare this to the likes of fucking Solana coins, because Solana, that's where all the liquidity is in Solana. All the whales are in Solana. The whales are not in fucking Ethereum because Ethereum chain's dead. They're not in, some of them are in Sui. You take advantage of where the liquidity is. So when AI pumps, the first coins you're going to see pump is the Solana coins, because that's where all the liquidity is. Whales need exit liquidity. So if you're looking for a place for exit liquidity, where are you going to go? You're going to go to the chain with the most liquidity, with the most trading volume. So they go to Solana and they pump these low caps. Look at fucking Zero, bro. This pumped 7x, and then all the fucking, at least Zero rocked as well today. By the way, I hope no one held that shit. What is it? Is it zero? Is it? Oh no. Oh, there you go. Zeri. This shit right here, right? This is not a natural pump. This is a whale spike, FOMO in, and then use them as exit liquidity. Look at this shit. This fucking crazy candle is whales dumping. It's not a natural, random dump. This is whales that fucking pumped this up, trapped all the retail that was buying up here because there's a bunch of trading volume at that point. Look at the volume, 200, and that's a lot of volume, and then boom, only whales can cause candles like this, and then it's gonna slowly keep going down. So if something's not pumping, it's not because the project is shit. It's very simply because liquidity is not here at the moment. Liquidity is not there. So when they do expand to Solana, which they will very soon, I don't know exactly when, but I'll ask them on the AMA on Tuesday, and then you're going to see the exact same thing play out. It's going to pump because liquidity will come back. And then, once it actually pumps and people start looking into it, and guess what's going to happen? And it's going to just be a bunch of FOMO continuously pumping. That's what good projects do. They stag, and then they explode, and then everyone looks into it and go, oh, this is backed by Google, Microsoft, and all the buzzwords start coming to play, and retail start FOMOing it on the back of the buzzwords. That's why buzzwords are so important, because that's what causes pumps. That's what caused AI tech and all these other coins to pump, because of the buzzwords. They have a bunch of buzzwords. So yeah, NAI is not too bad. NAI has been holding really well, and their mainnet testnet is coming out fairly soon. So I don't think it's a bad time to accumulate, my friend. I think both of them are good DCAs. This is same thing with Night. It's been in this strong accumulation phase where people are just accumulating. Had a nice little rally, and then we came back down, and then we're just holding this zone at the moment. So overall, both of them look pretty good. Any updates on Sensei? Sensei, I'm pretty sure is at some event today. So they're just networking right now. They're networking. Sensei is still up 2x from the lows. So, but they are Sensei is building something unique where for those guys that did not watch the AMA, they want to develop some island, like a government island, where like they have these let's say historical figures run a government like a little island with people and see how they would run it. That's an interesting concept. I think that could get some hype. But at the moment, Sensei is in Germany at some event connecting and with the VCs and stuff. So I think the next goal for these guys and what they want to do is they want to get VCs involved in the project. They want to get specific VCs that actually is beneficial for the project. That's what they like to do. They don't just get anyone. And this is the one thing I like about Sensei is they don't just get random, bullshit partnerships, which a lot of projects do but they don't do anything. Like these guys partnered with Hive because Hive is using the replica technology now. So it's not just a basic marketing little partnership. It's these companies are utilizing their technology. So that's one thing I do like about Sensei is they don't do baseless, partnerships. They do specific partnerships that benefit both projects. But yeah, they have some stuff coming. Just stay tuned to this on the 29th, I think it is. Yeah, this right here is a showcase, 29th. Stay tuned for that, my friend. I want to buy Grift, Mavia, and Swarms. Do I think it's good? I do hold a bag of Grift myself. It is a moon bag because I took profits on it on when it done on the recent pump. If you want to buy a Grift bag, I don't think it's a bad idea. This AI agent moves very fast. From down here, if you got in up here, you would have made a decent amount. You would have made a 3 to 4x in like the space of a week. So this done well. This is one of the ones I told people to accumulate. Swarms is okay. It's not too bad, but like if you look at Solana agents, Swarms is one of them that just no one talks about. Like it's a good project and they're building actual Swarm agents, but no one talks about it. And the reason, whales don't like going into it for some reason, and that's why the chart looks like this. But it will pump at some point. But you can compare this to some of the other agents. Like this is just staggering. And the fact that all the liquidity is on Solana, I would have expected this to at least pump 2 to 3x. But it's pumped a little bit, nothing crazy. Look at some of the other agents like Griffin's done very well. So I think I would rather get one on virtuals, maybe get like Game or Vader on virtuals rather than Swarms, because you look at Game, this is $33 million in market cap. Look at Game on virtuals, it's at 39, but that chart looks a lot better than the other one, but it's the same market cap, and virtuals will potentially do pretty well. So maybe get this one after it has a decent pullback. You see, like down here, somewhere like 2 cents, 2.5 cents. If it goes below 2 cents, even better buying opportunity. Go to these ones. I think I looked into this. Someone sent this to me. I'll have a look into it properly though, because I don't think it's going to be on CoinGecko right now. Yeah, it won't be on here. It's definitely on. I looked into it. It didn't look too bad. I like the use case. The use case was, from the top of my head, it was agents that was doing specific things. I think it's for sales. I think it's AI agents for sales. I'm pretty sure. Megan, very good to see you, my friend. Is Eliza EL a legit project? I think it's a scam, bro. Wait, hold on. Let me just clarify this. Is this the RWA coin? No, I don't know about this one, bro. This is the RWA coin. Is it legit? Let me see. Chart looks pretty decent. What is this? Let's clarify. World. Oh, this is the RWA coin. Yes. Yes. I think this is not a bad one overall. The one that's a scam is this one right here. This one right here. This one's a scam. Be careful with this one. Do not buy this shit. You know, as low as it looks, this is a scam pretty much. Like, it has pump from the lows, but no one gives a shit, bro. Like, this is, oh shit, it's pumped 3.5x. What the fuck? Yeah, this one's a scam, if more than anything else, because you look at the chart and you look at the Twitter activity, it looks horrendous. The Twitter activity does not look good. You know, the last time, look at this stupid shit they're posting. Like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, these guys have an English audience, and they're posting just retarded stuff. So, if anything's a rug, it probably would be this one. This is the one I would stay away from. They've done nothing, absolutely nothing, ever since they came out. And I traded the shit out of this, you know, back in like 2023 and 24. They've done very well, but you know, as a project, that one's shit. But EL is not too bad. Is 3 to 400 million target for AI realistic? Which AI coin? I would say between 2 to 300 to 400 is more realistic, depending on the project. Which project are you talking about, GG? Phantom, yeah, Phantom is pretty good, Lucas. Yes, that's a good one. Fizz, good to see you, bro. Very good to see you. Bushman, good to see you as well. Do I see XDC, LTC going many X's? XDC, not so much, but LCX, I think, will still pump, yes. Or Sensei Nai, I just load up and wait for the time to move. Exactly. That's how it should be. Like, outside of crypto, everyone should be doing something outside of crypto, anyways. Whether you're working, you have family, you know, the best thing is you invest into solid projects that you know is not going to rug pull, that is continuously developing. And then when the market and liquidity comes, they will all pump. We've seen it in November, December. All of them pump. Some say done like a 12 to 15x. You know, ATR done a 7x. Bricken done like a 6x. All of these coins pump from the lows. So it's all about patience, you know. It's about patience. Look at the development of the project. If they're just posting stupid shit on the Twitter and no actual developments, then you should get rid of it. It's that simple. You want to see stuff actually developing, building partnerships, like real partnerships, not just partnerships just to like when I see two, look at Bricken, for example. Look at all the development Bricken's doing. This is one of the projects that I've always been very bullish on, not because price action has been good lately. I was bullish on this down here when people were losing hope. But you have to look at the development and see what they're doing. They've increased their TVL now by like 2x. And that is because they're getting more and more platforms to tokenize. I think they recently, let me see, where is it? Look, the TVL increased to 35 million, which is top 29 in global all RWA protocols. And they're going to continuously grow. They're getting new and new investments consistently, which means their product works and the API works. They've partnered up with Clearpool recently, which is pretty bullish. Clearpool, everyone knows about Clearpool in the RWA space. So all of these projects are just non-stop developing, and that's what everyone should look for. The best thing I do is look. I keep my long-term bags, even if they don't move short-term. If they move short-term, I don't care. I'm not selling them for 2 to 3x in the short term, anyways. But what I will do is, and this is the concept of keeping cash on the side, you buy coins that move fast with your cash on the side. So that way, you're making money. You go into Sui, you go into Cola, you go to any of these coins, they don't pump really well from the lows. So, use your cash on the side, get into trades, and then, just patiently wait, trade, keep your long-term bags, stack up to the point where you're happy, and just keep trading on the side. It's not that hard to trade. If Bitcoin goes down 5-10% rapidly, it's going to have a bounce. So what you do is just stack up any fast-moving asset, and then when it pumps 20-30%, get rid of it. That's what I've done for the past 4 to 5 months, and I've made a decent amount of money. That's what everyone should aim to do. while the market is not going anywhere. There's plenty of coins that move all the time. One of the ones I like to trade that moves quite often is Sui. There's another AI agent coin. This one I trade this one. I just literally made 23% on this shit and sold it. Look at this. It's done a 4x down here or 5x or some shit or 6x actually on Mexi, dumped and then just rallied back up. This is one that I've been trading, done really well. Phantom, Sonic, much appreciated. Yeah, Phantom's a very good project. I appreciate the $5 as well. Do I also think no. Don't get any BRC20 tokens. Like Stacks is good as a project, but that narrative, I'm not a fan of that narrative personally. I don't even know how this shit is so high in market cap. I don't understand it. You know, but just I don't know. Look at the volume compared to the market cap. It's not the greatest, but they have quite a lot of TVR locked up though. Stacks is not too bad, but that BRC20 narrative, I'm personally not a fan of. Natix, yeah, Natix is a good deepin project. I like Natix. I got a low bag of Natix, not too much. 400 to 500 for AI tech. I think AI tech will go to at least 1 billion. At least 1 billion. Because I look at unique aspects of projects. Shit, why did I type in 1 billion? I look at unique aspects of projects, and within the crypto space, no other project has a data center. You know, so and then the unlock for this is minimal now. They've pretty much unlocked most of the early investors, so there's minimum selling pressure from those guys. And the team's spending $1 million buying back the token right now. This is why it's held up so well, and it's been slowly climbing. A low correction. Might have a low, a bit more, and then potentially go back up. But I think this will reach at least 1 billion, in my opinion, at least. Just because these guys are pretty much guaranteed to get on Binance. Like within the next month or two, I can guarantee you anything that this will be on Binance. Cool, good to see you, bro. Yeah, at least Zero got fucked, bro. Like project got fucked. So be careful not to hold, projects that first of all, they're relics. Second of all, just be careful not to hold stuff that's not actually building the product. So like Alice Zero has just not been doing shit for a long time. It looked like a good project. They had a very solid community, but CEO got bored, needed the money, and just sold. This is why crypto is so dodgy, bro. Like, look at all the people that held the Sui meme coins on the decks or on their cold wallets. You just imagine what happened. The liquidity pool got fucked, and everyone was down 90, 80, 85% on the investments. So you put 10K in there, you would have been fucking left with fuck all. And obviously, when that happens randomly, you're gonna be nervous. So they pulled the liquidity out of all the Sui stuff, the Sui hack on Cetus, the main decks on Sui, and then guess what happens? All the meme coins got fucking raped. So this is why you should never be a one coin maxi, ever. Diversification is key. You diversify across all different narratives. You have high caps, mid caps, and low caps across every single narrative. Because if you low cap rugs and your high cap does well, you still make money. That's the concept. That's why diversification is key, and that's why you get, high caps, mid caps, and low caps. If you're all low caps, unless the low caps are, very well researched, very likely they'll rug one by one. Look how many projects rugged the last, year, this year or last year. A lot of them rugged. I think this is gonna get worse and worse. You're gonna see a lot of fucking relics and shit projects keep rugging. My friend, very good to see you, Brit. Thoughts on Omega X Health? Let me look. That sounds like a fucking decentralized AI project. Not decentralized AI, sorry, decentralized finance or science. The fuck? This pumped. It's up 10x, bro. What the fuck? Or what? At the heights? Yeah, this shit done a 10x at the heights or more than that. Yeah, why did this pump so much? Yo, the FDV is 1.1 million. This was a dead project, and someone must have fucking slapped a buy alert on this. I'm not a fan of healthcare projects. Like before, I guarantee you, this was below 100K. You know, before it done this pump, it was below 100K. So you either had to put like fucking $50 or $100 into this to make any serious money. Okay, it was pretty much dead, but what was the market cap down here? I won't show you. If the FDV is 1.1, that means it, you know, this must have been fuck all. It would have been like less than 100K in cap. This is too degen for me, bro. Way too degen. And it just looks mid. It just looks like any Solana coin with a website and a concept. That's it. Since the island is insane, bro, that alone should send the project to. Yeah, I agree with you. The chair of Alt said Sol Town expansion launchpad will be in June, July. Compute will be in Q4. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that, my friend. June and July is around the corner. So that's next month is June or July. I know that I got an AMA with them, so obviously I'll speak to them more directly. But I know that the what's it called? The supply is on their bucket list to do as soon as possible. So, you know, I don't know why this has not been updated, but the actual supply is not 1.9, is 1.1. And what that will do is that will bring the FDV from 21 down to about like 50, 60. So, you know, it's going to be a way closer market cap to FDV. And that's going to be very good for the project. Because when whales come in, they're going to see that, they, you know, and there was a little bit of hiccup with Alt. Let me just clarify that as well. So what happened was every 3 months, we have these random unlock, which is like a validator unlock, but it's mixed with early investors. So the early investor, one of the fucking cunts, went on Gate.io and just clipped a shit amounts and rugged the price to like 0.03, I think it was. So he bought it down for like 40%, but this was only on Gate. All other exchanges were fine, normal. The guy clipped it hard. But the positive news is now the early investors only hold 0.17% of the supply, which is fuck all. So even if the next unlocks comes, the price is not going to move because they don't have the they don't have the amount of money to decrease the price anymore. So that's one positive. So most of the early investors out they have less than 0.5% of the supply. They have fuck all. There's going to be no one really dump on us anymore. The validators is just like the supernodes and stuff. They can't really dump because their tokens get staked for you naturally. Jupiter still works. Yeah. What the fuck? Jupiter still works, bro. Chub pumped on Sui, like wild bro. We bought it when you mentioned it. Yeah, so this one right here, I was talking to Fizz about it. Chirp down here. It was down here somewhere 0.025. I said this project looks decent. You know, I think Deepin will do well. So if Deepin's going to do well and Sui is a bullish chain, then it was kind of a no-brainer to add this to the degen portfolio. And then I just kind of forgot about it. And then it just exploded. And it was because of a group buy alert. It's not a natural pump. It's not because Chirping came out and did some fucking crazy update. It's not because of that. It's just because it's very low in market cap. It's illiquid. At this current moment over here, like somewhere around these regions, it's probably like 2 million in market cap. Yeah, it's like 1.7 million in market cap. So, you know, if a group does a buy alert on it and the group has like 200-300 people, they'll just 2x it. And that's exactly what's happened now. So they just 2x'd it based on the group. It's not because, like I said, these guys are just come out with some crazy update, some manipulated chart. So if you guys are looking to get into this, don't be stupid and buy a 46% dildo candle. But yeah, we should have got into it because if we got into down here, which is when I wanted to buy, we would have pretty much made like an over 5x. Well, it was just about between a 4 to 5x, which would have been nice, my friend. But you know, we're gonna catch the next one. Don't worry, we'll catch the next one. What's my coin for? Obviously, time in the market. Do you think anticipate the launch going? I think it will do well. I think June and July will be bullish, and I think it will be perfect time for them to launch. I think StateX will be phenomenal, bro. Like once the token's close to launch, I'll make a video on StateX, and you guys will understand how crazy this project is for RWA space. The cap that is coming out, and the crazy shit they've been doing is just. I'll make a video on it, and you guys will understand. Real is my only RWA holding. Stuck between props or bricking. Thoughts? Should I get alt too? Got 100k bag. Trying to get a couple 100ks this fun. Reinvest into the recession. Yeah, that's smart. That is. That means you've been watching my channel, and you know how this shit's gonna work, bro. So bricking at the lows, from the lows, is up a decent amount. It's up like 3x from the lows, damn near. So, would I tell you to buy a Bricken now? Long term is okay. Short term, I think this can potentially come down slightly lower if the market wants to correct. If it doesn't, then it will just continue to pump. But if I had to tell you to buy one of these today, I probably would tell you to buy a prop base. And the reason I'll tell you to buy a prop base, number one, prop base is just as good as Bricken, but prop base has not pumped as much. Like, if prop base was to reach another 2x from here, it would be the same market cap as Booking. So, I probably would tell you to buy a prop base from this current point on, just because prop base has not pumped as much and it's in a very good buying range. Look at the chart for the last month. Slow grind up. Very nice slow grind up. Had a low correction, broke trend, and then now we're moving back up again. So currently, I would probably buy prop base over Bricken. If Bricken was to come down lower, then I'll probably buy Bricken. But I like both of them. I hold both of them. Should I get more? Or you got 100k or it's enough. If you want to get maybe like 30, 50k more, it's not a bad option, because once all explodes, everyone's going to fall more into it just because of how good the project is. And the best thing is, like, there's a bunch of projects that's just as good as or if not better, but they're new and they heavily diluted. Like, for example, look at Aether. Like, anyone that's telling you Aether is a better investment than Or, they're just retarded. Or this shit is for Or to go to this market cap, it'll be a 30x. Look at the FDV's 2.18 billion, meaning when the unlock period is done, from the current moment in current price, this shit will go to 2.18 billion. If alt was to go to 2.1 billion, that shit is like stupid. That's like 100x. So it does not make sense to get into like Aether and Ionet, even though I would say Aether and Ionet is fundamentally better than alt. But if you look at alt's market cap and what they're doing, they earn the same amount of money as Ionet, and they probably earn more than Aether, or if not the same amount. So Ionet, has earned like 15 million or some shit from the time they launched. Well, alt makes that every year. So, if you look at fundamentals and you look at revenue, because revenue is what a business should be valued from, and crypto is different. You look at business wise, this should be at least 200 million in cap at least. But it's not, because they just don't want to market for some stupid reason. But I will definitely speak to the guy on Tuesday regarding marketing. Get some KOLs. Like, that's what they've been doing recently. They have been getting some KOLs. They got a few Binance KOLs and they got a few pages. But let's say if they get like 4 or 5 decent sized KOLs, that's enough for them. Because if you got a few big KOLs, then all the other KOLs that follow that KOL will find out about the project and they might buy it. That's the whole the placebo effect. So let's see what happens. I'm definitely looking forward to that AMA though. But yeah. Anything else? Did I miss anything else? Oh yeah, this is a very important chart because this shows where the accumulation zone's been happening. So in the blue, you guys can see when we're in the blue, it means the whales are accumulating. Right now, we're starting to enter the blue, which means people are starting to accumulate. We're like down here. You see this? We're like literally down here before the final blowout phase. We will probably go to 150 or 150. This is why I say this pump is the final pump. And no one tells you otherwise. It could not be the final pump for alts. Maybe alt pump at the end of the year, one last time, like a massive mini alt season that we normally get. It's possible. But when you talk about for BTC perspective, this is going to be the final pump. And this says a lot. Accumulation is now visible across nearly the entire wallet spectrum. Even one BTC holders have flipped from distribution to light accumulation, 0.05, joining larger cohorts, 100 to 1K, 1K to 10K BTC, 0.85, 1 to 10 remain net sellers. So the people that are selling are 1 to 10 BTCs, which is the small fries more or less. So like mini retail are selling, but the bigger ones are accumulating. This is why we're pumping. Most people are buying spot. The reason we've pumped in an aggressive manner is not because spot buyers are buying. It's because of leverage, short squeezes. We got 3-4 short squeezes now back to back. That's where the price goes higher rapidly, randomly. So but we are in an accumulation phase. The whales are accumulating. This looks like this, like the early stages of this. See this. But what's next to come is, look, I think we're somewhere down here. New all-time high, low correction, and then boom, explosion. Projects using trading bots more volume should consider a red flag. Not necessarily, because I think every single coin in the world, in crypto, every single one of them uses trading bots. I mean, let's be honest, bro. Look at this shit, right? Most of the volume is on fucking Altbank. Have you guys ever heard of fucking Altbank? I've never heard of this exchange. Somehow this has more trading volume than OKX, a tier 1 exchange. Bybit, can be classed as a tier 1 exchange now because they're always top 5 in terms of fingers. So that can be a tier 1 exchange. And then you look at fucking HTX. This is one of the shittiest exchange ever. And this has the same amount of volume as fucking Gay. This is all botted volumes. It's not real volume. So every single project, good to bad, use volume. I mean, look at Kraken, bro. Kraken is considered a tier 1 exchange. But look at the volume, bro. That's 255K volume. Just fuck all. So yes, these all use bots. So, it's not. I think every project use bots. If they didn't, I guarantee you Aether's fucking volume would not be more than 5 million, bro. It's guaranteed. Neon Heroes quit. That was a rug pull. Yeah, Neon was a clear rug pull, bro. They fucking rugged the pricks. I was actually quite bullish on it. I traded that a few times. Well, I traded it when Alex Becker dropped a video on gaming. At that point, market was hot, and we just got like an easy 2x on it, and I sold it. But it looked good. It was coming down, and I was actually looking to get a bag. Thank God I didn't, because that fucking shit rug pulled. How would you do your last DCA? Good to see you, my friend. I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing well as well. How would I do my last DCA? I would not be buying on the way up. It doesn't matter. Look, people, this is what catches people out. People just hate sitting on cash when the market's going up. But like I said, nothing goes up forever and nothing goes down forever. So what you're going to get is when the market's going up, do not fucking DCA up. Just wait for the market to correct. Because when you're in a QT phase of the cycle, even if Bitcoin goes to a new all-time high, also a fucking pump, because dominance is so high. Dominance is just, it come down, bounce off the bull market support band, just you guys can see for yourself, bounce exactly off the bull market support band and just rallied back up. So then when you're in this stage of the cycle where QT, is still alive and Bitcoin's moving up, if Bitcoin goes to new all-time highs, alts will probably go up 10%, 15%. Some might go up 30%. As soon as Bitcoin has a 10%, 5% correction, alts will go fucking down 30, 20, 50%. Some of them will. So there's no way, no one should be DCAing on the way up. That's the dumbest thing you can do. I always keep, no matter if the market's going up fucking 50% in one day, I will never FOMO in, because the market will always give you opportunities while QT is still happening. It creates bad habits as an investor. If you're just a retail investor, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna call it a scam down here. You're gonna call everything a scam when the market is down here, and you're just gonna FOMO up here when everyone's selling again. So you don't want to be creating bad habits like that. The best thing to do is, even have to just sit out for a few days, a week, 2 weeks, no matter. The market will give you another opportunity to buy again. So when this goes up, breaks all-time high, goes to like almost 120, and then all the retail start FOMOing in, that's when you should be taking some profits to buy back down here. And then from here, this is when you should do your last DCA. When the next correction we get, whether it's like a 5-10% correction in BTC, you should 100% look to, do your final DCAs there. But do not DCA on the way up. That is one habit that everyone should come out of. And I know a lot of people do. I know this for a fact. Ifina is a good project, yes. Do I think about Hasha? I'm not a fan of it, bro. It will get pumped by Alex Becker, but those projects are just too dodgy, bro. How do I feel about Deepin? I'm very bullish on Deepin. I think Deepin will do well. I'm talking about Deepin, the narrative. Leox has been doing some good developments, and I've been keeping an eye on it in terms of the developments because I do hold a small bag on this. But this is only gonna pump when the narrative comes alive. That's it. I don't expect this to pump 5x randomly unless they do some crazy, I don't know, new exchange or something. But the reality is there's no volume, 12k volume, so there's not a lot of volume, and the team is still active. They're still doing shit. But it's like, it's one of those where, like, what's the point of buying Leox now when there's a chance it could actually rug or continue to go lower? When you can just buy more solid projects that just doing shit every day. So all I would do is, if you're gonna buy Leox, chuck like a small amount where you just forget about it. And if it dies, it dies. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Or you just wait till RWA becomes hot and then just get into it. Then that way it's gonna pump. You could be sitting on this for 4 months and it doesn't pump, or it might only pump like a little bit, but there's no point. So, personally, I would stay away from the low caps right now because it doesn't matter how good a low cap is, it's just not going to pump now. The low caps pump, the micro caps, like the 3 millions, 2 millions below, they're only going to pump when liquidity comes into the markets and we are extreme greed. Like something like Snift is not going to pump now, but it will pump because I like hybrid. You need to get into hybrid chains because hybrid narratives. What is this? Is AI gaming. And it's not like these guys are not developing. They're forming partnerships. They're developing, and they got big backers behind them. So just wait with the extreme low caps. You have to wait until we hit extreme greed. That's when they'll pump. Would there be a meme narrative before bull run, or will it be during the bull run? Bro, memes are a narrative every day. There's always a meme pumping, bro, every single day. Any news on Tet? Yeah, Tet's still doing some shit. Just check on their Twitter, bro. I don't really give a shit about Tet. I hold my bag, but it's one of those that I just kind of got stuck holding it. But they are developing. They're doing shit. I know for a fact the CEO is still there and it's still working. So, that's why I hold my bag. If something just fully abandoned, I obviously have to sell, cut your losses, and get out. But Tet is still developing and still working. So, whatever I hold, and I hold a decent amount, not too much, but yeah, I think it will do decent. It'll do decent. Fantastic. Good to see you, bro. Very good to see you. Merkle, ChainGPT, please. Yeah, ChainGPT is a good project. I don't know what the fuck Merkle is not here, bro. Merkle is my mod, but ChainGPT is a solid project. Good to see you, bro. Nice cut. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. I just got a cut today. I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but it's a bit shit, bro. My fucking barber fucked up my hairline, bro. Fucked up my hairline. I wish I would show you guys, but I went to a new barber today, and the fucker pushed my hairline back, bro. Not up here, but he pushed it on the sides, bro. Like my hairline, like when you get a trim, right? And you could see the white bit of your fucking existing hairline. That motherfucker took one finger off my hairline, like this much off my hairline. He pushed it back this much. Never gonna go to that fucking barber again, bro. I was so pissed the whole day, bro. Motherfucker pushed my hairline back. MK will do well just because if a project will do well. Like for example, people are worried about Sensei. You don't have to be worried about Sensei because one of the biggest YouTubers in the space talks about it. So it will just naturally pump anyways. There's so many shitters on Sensei that you don't have to be worried about short-term price action. As soon as the market gets bullish, as soon as House of Crypto mentions it, it'll pump. And the same thing with Metacade. It's a good project. When gaming pumps, it'll pump anyways. But when House of Crypto talks about it, it'll pump again. Skull up 100x buying opportunity right now. don't know about 100x, bro. It's like Sui ecosystem is not looking too good right now. So it is not a bad buying opportunity. I actually traded shit at this. I think it can come down a bit more before I start considering buying. If it comes down here, I'll buy. But up here, it's not really. It's 15 million market cap. This is a good project in my opinion. Solid exchanges, everything overall very good. I like this project. Let it come down a bit more. A solid, Scallop is a good project. Yes, 100% agree. I'm gonna get a bag at some point. Red 2. I've not looked into Red. I remember when he launched, but I have not looked into this one properly. So I need to do my research into this one. Chart looks good though. Chart looks good. Guys, Singh, good to see you, bro. Skillers, good to see you. Any thoughts on Hash AI? I'm not a fan of Hash AI. I think they're better projects. How hard do I think? I think Sensei will break his previous all-time highs. 100% he will. Just because you gotta understand, Sensei is a 5 times better project than it was in the November-December pump than it is now. The reason is because since then their products has gone only better. It's not gone worse. It's gone better, and they have more ideas. They just continue to develop. So I do think Sensei would, 9 times out of 10 will break past his all-time highs and go higher. Maybe it'll go to 2 cents. That's nice money if it goes to 2 cents. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Sensei. I think it will do very well, and the team is very active. Enter Aether is bringing in 100 annual revenue, bro. What the fuck is this? I don't even know that. That's crazy though. The fuck? Is it 100? Are you sure it's 100? There has to be a way to verify that though. Aether's bringing in 100 million revenue. Fucking nuts, bro. Let me see, bro. The God, check this, bro. Aether's annual recurring revenue has surged to 126 million, reflecting continuous growth in our journey. Yo, that's crazy, bro. Fair play to Aether, bro. That's actually crazy. Enterprise grade bare metal GPU performance, no cap required. This is deepens the future, bro. Like, imagine what happens when AI tech has a whole data center with millions worth of GPU devices. Imagine how much money they're going to bring in. But that's impressive, though. I'll be honest. Very impressive for Aether. Maybe I underestimated Aether's revenue. That's fucking nuts. 75k alt nodes, if they are 300 a piece, that's 22 million already. So they're about to drop the new one. That's wild. Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah, it's not 75. I'm pretty sure it's 78. Yeah, that's a fucking loads of money, bro. I didn't even consider the node money. I just didn't even remember that. You gotta think, right? If alt gets to 100k nodes, that's 30 million. 30 million for $300 a piece. That's 30 million just there alone. That is excluding. I think Aether's money mostly came from the nodes, just like alts will. But I'm talking about actual product use. If that's over 100 million, that's impressive though. But yeah, I'll guarantee you in 2 weeks this will be 80k. And then once their new node is out, which is I think is already out, this will probably go over 100k very fast, very very fast, because I think they've just released their second node, the device 2, which is going to be training AI models. So when all the data stuff that gets done is going to be trained in AI. So this is where companies benefit. All right, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so automatic sang tasks and okay, so contribute compute cycles to AI model pools, generate all tokens based on real-time contribution. Okay, yeah, that's pretty useful. So when this actually I think is pretty much launched, so you can reserve it now. But you are gonna get some crazy some good price action for this shit. Elif and X can't do anything. What do you think, please? Well, I don't really like to pick on individual projects, just because like individual projects can do okay on its own, but most of it is catered to narratives, my friend. No one gives a shit what these guys are doing, how much developments are doing, simply because layer ones is just dead. Like, more people are more interested in high cap layer ones than low caps at the moment. But there's going to be a time where people are going to go to low cap layer ones, and then the lithium will do well. But Zilix, fuck Zilix, bro. This is a fucking dodgy project. This was in my DGen portfolio. It done very well initially. Like, done decent pump from here to there. Probably like 5x some shit. But these guys have good volume somehow, and I haven't been keeping track of it. But like I said, once the proof of work narrative comes back, Zilix is going to do very well. This is going to fly very fast. There was another proof of work token I traded, and I have not put it on here. There's a bunch of projects I've traded. I've just not added it on the list, but I forgot what the name was. Bro, that shit flew from like $1 to like $50, $60 in like the space of a week. Proof of work tokens move very fast. Thoughts on Kita? I don't know about the hype, but Kita just looks like a cable pump. It's like, when I first seen it, it was around $4 million, and at that point, it was already pumping. Like, it was up 5-6x from the lows, or from whenever I seen it. The chart looked like it was 5-6 up, so I was like, "Fuck, I'm not buying this shit." And then the next time I seen it, it was 20 million. And then the next time I seen it, it was like 100 billion. Now it's a fucking almost $300 million in market. But I just don't know what the hype behind this project is, because they don't have a test net, they don't have a main net. It's just KOL pushed. Their test net is coming out soon apparently. But it's like, how the fuck can you, how can you put something as a 270 million market cap when there's no product to verify anything they're saying? So look, once the test net is out and once the main net is out, if you can hold this price, then it will do well. But buying it now, you gotta be retarded to buy it now, bro. Like, if you miss the boat on something, don't try to chase it, bro. Just leave it. It's gone. This is not gonna reach. I doubt this will ever reach $1 billion. This is KOL driven. When I seen this, it was like fucking 10 KOLs I was following, just randomly pushing this all together at once, which led me to believe that this is a cable pump. It's not legit. Because when I looked at the project, I was like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't have a test net, it doesn't have a main net. It has a concept and its scalability, but it's a fucking 1,000 other project that's scalable. And apparently this one just got chosen to get pumped by the the big KOL. So stay away from it, my friend. They don't have a product. What's the point? It's like, bro, the main hype behind this. Whoa, the guy worked for Microsoft. Who gives a shit, bro? There's fucking 1,000 other projects in crypto where the guy used to work for Microsoft, Google. He probably was a janitor at Google or some bullshit, bro. No one gives a shit anymore, bro. Those type of stuff was good last cycle, but this cycle, no one really cares about it. This one specifically, I think, was heavily pushed by KOLs. Like I said, I seen it because 5-6 of the KOLs I was following was pushing this at the same time, which led me to believe it was not a real pump. And then when I looked into it, it just wasn't that good. I just didn't see all the hype. The testnet was supposed to come out. It didn't come out. Very smart, my friend. Very smart. Hello, Crack. What do I think about Rivals? Thank you. Crack. Yeah. But you must have got the wrong person, bro. You mean Crack. Rivals is not bad. I actually put a little trade on this secretly. I didn't even tell the group about this one, but I cashed out after 2x. But this one's not bad. I don't even know why it pumped, but it seems the volume's picking up. I think they've partnered with IONET recently, and that's what caused it to pump. But as a project, as a low cap project, it's not too bad. But buying it now, it's not really smart. You gotta wait for it to come down. Man said Merkel. Merkel's a fucking one of my mods. 100%, bro. That was hilarious. What happened to me? Bro, going to new barbers is fucked, bro. Like, don't just go to your barbers that you like, bro. But fucking barber fucked me up, bro. Honestly. Yeah, it looks like the market. Yo, bro, I'm telling you, bro, the barber fucked me up, bro. The worst thing is, he's my brother's friend as well. The last time I went to him was in 2020. So now I thought, bro, it's been 5 years. This guy surely's got a little bit better. It fucked me up, bro. I've not looked into analog, but Riz is pretty decent. I actually, like I said, I just traded this. Traded this for 2x. I sold all my position. Maybe I'm a Jeep, but I just pumped out of nowhere. I did not see any crazy developments, but this is a good project overall. The one thing, just be careful of Riz, and one of the things that kind of what kind of made me at least stay away from this was the unlocks. Just keep in mind that the early investors have unlocked now, and they're going to be unlocking every month. So maybe they're pumped. This is what a lot of projects do: is before an unlock, they pump the price. So whether they get VC money in or they pay KOLs to pump it, it pumps, and then slowly, a couple of weeks down the line, it will just slowly come back down. But just be careful with this one, my friend. I've seen this textbook play where before all the early investors get their tokens, the token randomly pumps, and that's one of the reasons I kind of traded it on the back of that. It was like a do or die, pretty much. Like the most I would have done was lost 10% of my investment, but the upside looked good before the unlock. So when you see major unlock, every single time the project's going to pump initially, especially for decent projects, and then afterwards, like 2-3 weeks later, it will dump back down. So don't FOMO in now, but as a project, Riz is pretty good overall. But FOMOing in now is stupid in my opinion. What's BTC at now? So 108. Okay. Alt market is to be an issue. Would you bring it up? Yeah, of course I will, bro. Of course I will. Hold a fucking bag of all that. I want them to know that the marketing is an issue. WorldCoin, bro, fuck WorldCoin, bro. It's too high in cap. Like, why would you buy WorldCoin? Are you buying it because? Are you mentioning it because? What's his name talked about it? What's his name? House of Crypto talked about it. Yo, yeah, it's 2 billion market cap, but I just don't. I don't really. I wouldn't do it. Vanna is a good project. Vanna is a fundamentally strong project. If you're 80% down on Redo, wait and hold or dump. I think Ton will do well, and the reason Ton will do well because their report came in that the Ton company, the Telegram company itself, generated 500 million in profits last year while the CEO was locked up or in custody or whatever the fuck he's in. So, just on the back of that, I still think Tom will come back. I think once the CEO is fully out and is able to travel around again, I think Tom will wake back up. So, Redo is like the mascot for Ton. And I think Tom will pump. And if you're down 80%, just hold it, bro, honestly. I don't ever see, as long as it doesn't look like it's going to rug. If he would have rugged, it would have rugged in the last 4 months. So it's around, community driven. It will come back, in my opinion. I think Tom will come back, and I think this will come back. I wouldn't sell it, no. Yo, everything altcoin. Good to see you, my friend. How you been? Very good to see you, my friend. OpenServe is a good project. OpenServe is a good AI agent project. It's like one of those that came around, done very well on the back of a very nice website, and then of a back of a docs team. And then since then, they've just been continuously doing well. I have not looked into the development as much, but as a project, they look pretty fundamentally good. At this point, what type of multiplayer should be looking at? Hold, primary, smaller. Bro, if you get a 10 to 20x from this current point on, then, bro, that's more than enough, trust me. Because like the real money is made in the bear markets. People don't realize this. You'll see a whole bull market in the bear market before the real bull market even happens. So, when you're buying, when everyone's shit in the bed and just doesn't give a shit about crypto anymore, that's when you make the money. I'm fucking hungry. All right, guys. I think we can wrap it up from there, bro. But on Tuesday, I got AMA with Alt. So definitely keep that in mind. Tune in, ask your questions, whatever. He's going to be live. So you guys can ask it live. It's fucking hard getting that AMA, bro, because them guys they just do their own shit, bro. Like all of them got some shit going on. So Managed to pull an AMA with those guys. So make sure you guys don't miss that. But I'm not gonna be live till like Tuesday because I'm going out city. I'm going to another city. So I'll be live on Tuesday for that AMA next. So you won't see me for a few days. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys as always. Hit the likes on your way out. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream. If anything happens, just follow me on Twitter. If I see something happening, I'll post it on Twitter. And if you guys want to join the private group, the link is in the description. You guys can actually do that. Oh, Superman pumped it. Fucking cunt. That makes sense. Yeah, it's not a natural pump, bro. When you see like that must have been like 2-3 million in cap or some shit, bro. Probably like less than 100K in cap. This is what these guys do, right? They have their private groups, and this is it only works for the insiders pretty much. These guys accumulate here, and then you see this little vibe. This is them accumulating, right? And then boom, they drop the alert, and all the retards rush to buy, rush, buy, and then Superman will drop a video right here. They'll drop a video. Oh, this is the next 1,000, 2,000x, 5,000x, 10,000x project, and then some guys, stupid people, buy up here. And then, it's only 1 million. This could easily do 100x after 1 million, even though this project has probably rugged and just been dead. And then these guys have resurrected it. And then guess what? When the video's out, Exodus comes in, they dump on you. It's classic scammer play, bro. It's classic. There's no such thing as guarantee, my friend. But if you want to get 10x, just look, this is the best way to get 10x, right? Go and put a 2x leverage on though, and if it does a 5x, you get your 10x. It's that simple. That's the best way to get a guaranteed 10x. Just add some leverage to it. Your coin might go up two times as more volatile, but who gives a shit? Like for Ondo, if you put a 10x leverage on Ondo, like 90 fucking cents or whatever, for you to get liquidated, it would have to go to 45 cents pretty much. And do you honestly think Ondo's going to go to 45 cents? I don't see it happening unless we go into a bear market. But you can easily do a 5x from here. 5x. And that's how you get your 10x. Or you can even do the same thing with C. Do you have a micro cap 1 to 5 million on your radar right now that runs on ETH? I'm going to start looking for some new. I'm going to be dropping like 3 new alerts in the private group, fast moving coins. So like I said, I have my long-term bags, but I want to get some fast moving assets that can make us money short term. So I'm going to be dropping some quite a few alerts in the private group. So if you guys obviously want to join that shit, join it. I'm probably going to be dropping in the next 2 weeks. So when I see the correction, there's no point dropping it now when BTC is likely to go higher. There's no point. I'm going to wait for this correction. A bunch of altcoins are going to get raped. And then I'm going to buy into this correction. And then when they pump again, I'll be up like 3-4x very quick. Yeah, I'm aware, my friend. I'm aware. But, it's one of those that I missed. Unlock, but this guy shouldn't. I need to look into this one, though. I'll look into it, my friend. I keep forgetting, but I'm definitely going to look into it now. Might be a very good project. Would you exit the market between one thing? I would still exit, yes. As long as, look, if Bitcoin hits 130, 140 and staggers there, then what you're going to see is when Bitcoin's holding, not doing shit, you're going to start seeing alt start to pump. So if it gets to 130 and 140 and it's just holding that region, that's the best time for alts to pump, because if people get bored of BTC and the go down and get more risky. So I would wait like maybe a couple of weeks, then I'll start DCing. But I'll be DCing on the way up anyways. But yeah, guys, drop a like. You guys want to join the private, you can join the Ko-fi link, or you can join on what. On that note, I will be out. Have a good day. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for the AMA. Bye-bye.